This is an antique tube clasp in solid 9-karat yellow gold. The surface is made up of many long, narrow facets. The clasp itself works perfectly fine. When it is rotated, the facets reflect lights. It looks quite nice. The owner of this clasp would like to add some hand-engraved patterns on the tube. She sent me a few pictures she liked, so I chose one that works with the unique character of this clasp. This is roughly how the pattern will look on the clasp once it's done. I first draw a line at each end of the clasp. Sorry, I only found out my camera was focusing on the wrong place after I have finished doing it. This is a very simple step. Hopefully you can still see what I have done. I have changed the camera and its angle in the coming process. First, I engrave a straight line where every two facets meet. Because the tube is not very heavy, I can tell that the wall on the tube is not very thick. Cutting it too deep will risk going through the clasp and disjoining it. These are only straight lines, not very hard to cut. What is more important here is to make each cut even. In my channel, I have a video showing beginners how to practice hand engraving straight lines if you have no experience at all. The link is in the description below if you're interested. Everyone can do it. The main thing is, once you know how, it's impossible to forget it. I only learned this skill once. Practice it for about 3 to 6 months. After that, I can engrave whatever I want and however I want. No more practice anymore. The link is in the description below if you're interested. I use my divider to mark the straight line into 8 even sections. This gives me a guide when drawing 3 curved lines on the right-hand side of each section and 2 curved lines on the left-hand side. To draw the lines, I use my scriber. The marks are not very deep. They can be easily removed with 1200 grit sandpaper if needed. In my case, I simply engrave over the lines directly. Once the guide is on, I engrave all the curved lines on the right-hand side, and then move on to the ones on the left-hand side. There is no rule for this. I do it this way because I hold the tube at one angle when engraving the lines on the right-hand side, and then hold it at another angle when engraving the lines on the left-hand side. This is totally a personal preference. Which one is engraved first doesn't really matter. Also, instead of fixing it on the ball vise, you might notice I only hold this tube clasp with my fingers. This is because if I mount it on the ball vise, I would have to first melt the cement, fix the tube onto the ball vise, wait for it to cool down. Once it's engraved, I would have to heat up the entire thing, take it off, and dry it. This entire process will only allow me to engrave a small area each time. Most of the tools I use in this video are listed in the description below, as always. This tube clasp actually measures 12 millimeters long. That's a little bit less than half an inch. As the surface I need to engrave is so small, and I need to keep rotating it as I go, I have decided to hold it with just my fingers. This saves a lot of time in the process. The only thing is, I have to hold this tube tight when my right hand is engraving it. But there are no sharp edges on this tube. It is not that bad once I find a comfortable way to hold it. The synthetic leather I put on top of my ball vise is to give the tube clasp a soft surface to rest on. Without it, the tube would be scratching against the steel surface on the ball vise. I engrave section by section because all the patterns and sections are the same. I just repeat the same process one after another until the entire surface is covered by the same pattern. Next, I move on to the lines at each end. To make it easier, I remove the tongue from this clasp before engraving. Because I have to keep rotating the tube, I can only engrave a very small section of the line each time. About 2 to 3 millimeters long, I would say. So it is very important to make sure each of these small sections join together to form a smooth straight line. The key here is to take it slow. Don't rush it. Bit by bit, until the line joins to make a close loop. But actually, this is one straight line. In case you want to know, I'm using a GRS C-Max carbide 120 degrees V-point graver throughout this entire process. I have a video showing how to polish a V-point graver like this in my channel. The link is in the description below if you're interested. Once the line on one end is done, I move on to the other end. Each of these simple straight lines takes a little bit more than 3 minutes to engrave. Because the tube is made of solid 9-karat yellow gold, this C-Max carbide graver works perfectly fine on a surface like this. I don't need to repolish it at all through this entire process. If it's sterling silver, you can use a steel graver. The noise in the background is my air compressor. It is quite noisy. I normally wear a noise-cancelling headphone and put something interesting on at the same time, so I don't need to listen to the machine noise when doing this. The last thing I need to pay attention to is I try to not press the tube too hard, one way or another, to avoid changing the shape of the tube or denting it. Once it's done, I put the tongue back to the tube clasp to make sure it still works. This is how it looks once it's done. I hope my friend will like the new look on her vintage tube clasp. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more engraving processes like this. Or do you prefer seeing more jewelry making videos in my channel? If you are new to hand engraving, you might also like the one showing on the screen right now. I will see you in the next video.